I was ordained in Myanmar, where the ordination procedure was carried out in Bali and in English. The first part of the ordination procedure was to be ordained as a samanera, like a junior monk. And the key phrase there is, "Venerable Sir, I would like to request you to ordain me a samanera in order that I may become free from the cycle of suffering existences and attain to Nibbanna." This was in English, and there was no Bali text to be recited. Following the ordination to be a samanera, there was the ceremony to be upgraded from a samanera to a monk. And here we have both Pali and English text to be recited. The English text goes as follows: "Venerable Sirs, I would like to request the Sangha to ordain me a bhikkhu, a monk. I beg the Sangha to raise me from the status of samanera." And then there was also the Pali text. Now, you will notice that in the English text, there is no mention of being freed from the cycle of suffering existences and attain to Nibbanna in the recitation for monkhood. Whereas when we ordain as a samanera, there was this phrase. So I was under the impression that ordaining as a monk was like an upgrade. You were upgraded from a samanera to be a monk, and there was no need anymore to say the words freedom from cycle of suffering existences and attain to Nibbanna. Now, then I did some research to find out, well, where did this word Nibbanna come from in the ordination to be a samanera? Because there was no Pali text when we ordained as a samanera. And here I came across the word upasampadang in Bali in the ordination to be a samanera. And what does that mean? Well, upasampada means, in the special sense, taking up the bhikkhuship, higher ordination, admission to the privileges of recognized bhikkhus. But there was no mention here of Nibbanna. Then I looked deeper, because Bali, like the German language, has many compound words made up of two words. And I looked up both upa and sampada, two parts of that long word. And in sampada, I came across this translation. It translates as attainment, success, accomplishment, happiness, good fortune, blessing, bliss. And it also went on to say that sampada, in its pregnant meaning, is applied to the accomplishments of the individual in the course of his religious development. Thus, it is used with sila, citta, and panya. And it goes on to say that with panya are meant the attainments of higher wisdom and spiritual emancipation connected with supernormal faculties, culminating in arahatship and extinction of all causes of rebirth. So here it is. The word sampada is the reference, the lead to the translation Nibbanna in the ordination procedure to be a samanera. So then I went back and checked the Bali for the ordination procedure to be a monk, a bhikkhu, where the English translation did not have the words Nibbanna in it. And I found that in the Bali text for ordination to be a monk was also the word upasampadang. So upasampadang was mentioned in both the ordination procedure to be a samanera and also in the ordination procedure to be a monk. But in the English translation, it was translated as Nibbanna in the ordination procedure to be a samanera. But in the ordination procedure for monkhood, full monkhood, there was no translation with the word Nibbanna in there. But as the Bali is the ruling text, we can assume that the word Nibbanna applies to both parts, and there is a definite link in the wording to link it to the attainment of arahatship. Now, does this mean that every monk then has to strive for Nibbanna? Well, monks are human beings. And human beings, as Lord Buddha said, are divided into 4 parts. And there are some that are born and grown in the water, thrive immersed in the water without coming up out of it. And some other lotuses that are born and grow in the water rest on the water surface. And some other lotuses that are born and grow in the water come right up out of the water and stand clear, with little dust in their eyes and ready to be enlightened. So monks, like all human beings, are also in different categories. And some are prepared to undertake the practice with the intention of reaching Nibbanna, and others not. Monks are just human beings.